can prove to be the Grim Reapers of the CDL in this matchup against the red-hot LA Thieves. Let's go ahead and get this game started.
Let's do it, guys. Hey, you gotta give us a little bit more than that, man. Just a quick 3-0, that's it?
I'm
with you.
Been facts,
I'm with you.
Point blank.
Come on. Not one map.
Lando, what's your prediction?
No, I mean, listen, I hope Paris can make a run, like win a couple games in losers bracket, but these guys have been buns for months, and they're going up against LADs who need to make it into champs. Like
I saw the Guerrillas beat Atlanta FaZe yesterday. Anything is possible.
Guerrillas won an event. Paris ain't winning an event this year, man.
Listen. I know. I hope Paris can make something happen here, but I live in the real world here on planet Earth, and it's not.
All right, we're going to revisit this. We're going to revisit this after this series. If Paris do not win a map, I will happily eat my words. But Jay, I mean, what, man? Speaking of eating, LAT, they've been eating a lot of donuts lately. We're hoping they can cop a W today versus the Paris Legion. I know that you think this one's pretty clear-cut. I think for the most part, it probably will be. But like we said, man, Major IV, it is full of craziness.
Yeah, I just think that the Thieves, they're coming out here a team on a mission. Obviously, the last loss they took versus Atlanta FaZe all the way into Game 5. The fact that they got to a Game 5 by losing both Search and Destroys 6-0 is kind of insane. So they're playing with some extra fire today. Going up against a Paris Legion roster who are still trying to do their best to really compete at Major IV. They haven't really showed us yet anything throughout this stage. Johnny has had some good moments, but you're going up against the LA Thieves roster who are on the rebound. So this is going to be very scary for them. They need to come out and answer early in this map, number one.
Yeah, both teams, obviously, as we mentioned, trying to get that early game one out of the way. Because as we know, Jay, the Search Destroys have not been pretty for either of these rosters. It feels like a toss-up. It feels like a coin flip as we fly in for Tuscan to kick this one off. We're looking through the eyes, really, of everybody. Now, as we take a look at the outside perspective, shout out to the Hot Hands Lounge, letting us know exactly how this one is going through, and apparently it is a ton of nades, Jay.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Thieves with early control, even when spawning on the bad side. This is statistically the Thieves' #1 hardpoint. They are the best hardpoint team in the game at this hill, specifically at 67% win rate. They're winning their rotations multiple times. They outscore opponents by 20 points. You can already see it here. They have mid-map control. They're cutting off backside tree. Now with 25 seconds left, even if they get broken here, when you're starting on bad side, when you get this much time, you're going to be able to take it. Now you're fully set up off the rotation.
Yeah, obviously, if you're Thieves, you are a little bit frustrated that happens, but at the end of the day, as you said, you've got that spawn now and ready prepared for P2. Temp will try to lead the way. It was kind of one of the more interesting statistics so far about Major IV. Jay's got a 0.88 KD through their very first 2 matches. We've seen some improvement from Gravity. We've seen Johnny really be electric. It feels like if Temp can start to get things going, that could be the piece that Paris need to try to get a little bit of consistency as Envoy cuts down a few from the flank. LAT take the lead.
LAT, they hold strong, at least winning those gunfights towards the front side of that hill. A lot of pressure from Paris, though. At least able to find 3 kills in the feed. Spawns do flip. Pressure's going to be here. Temp does get taken down, but now Spawns now in favor of Paris Legion. They can get themselves and take the lead from this game as long as they can hold this down to the T. And I'm pretty sure between both of these teams, when you look at the Thieves on this map, they do have an overall record of 9-7, but they are last in rotation win percentage, and you can see how it showed right there. They get broke immediately. You cannot allow that to happen.
Yeah, you also cannot allow for team nades to come through as well. That will spoil the party in the last 15 seconds of P2. The rotation is about to be inbound. Paris with a slight advantage. But as we said, LAT with those spawns toward their back. One player trying to sneak his way through. His name is Jimbo, and he'll remain in fire, trying to wait for a few of the forces to come off the spawn. Eventually dealt with. Okay, it's just another nade. It's a stun. The Johnny, the Jimbo combination. Well, it does sound great lyrically, not working great, at least when it comes down to the utility, but it doesn't matter. Despite the team kill, they just come through and wipe everybody out.
Yeah, Paris Legion get it done. All 4 down, are able to flip the spawns. Now all of LA Thieves continuously spawning at field. And when you look at both of these teams specifically on this map, they're a 10th and 11th back-to-back in-hold percentage. You see the struggle right there for the Thieves. Paris Legion able to capitalize on that. Big plays from them to at least get some time off of that P3. Not allowing LA Thieves to get a full uncontested 60. It makes their rotation a little bit easier. Now they're going to be able, even though the lead is going to get stripped away from them, as this final 10 is going to go in favor of the Thieves. But so far, Paris, they're playing good. And Temp Temp, a guy that's a .88 so far throughout stage 4. He's not mailing it in on a 4 spree.
He is not indeed, and that's what we talked about for Paris. They started off 0-2. They've definitely been humbled in their last few matches, especially the opening one versus Seattle. But there's still an opportunity, like we said, to be the Reapers. Ant talked about that on the desk coming into this series, about how this is arguably their best chance yet, a team that sits in the top 8. And as we said, with all kinds of craziness going on, anything is possible. Paris, the first wave down, as LAT very carefully made their way to the middle side of the map. They found the necessary picks. We'll see if they can only continue to grab them. A few plants eliminated in the process, but ultimately it is Paris locking things down and remaining somewhat tight in regards to the setup. Really lose the lead, but they will hold on to it for now. A narrow one at that, Jay.
Now LA Thieves with 20 seconds left. They know that this is great junk time. You do not want to give this up, knowing that you're going to that P5 hill where it's going to be an absolute tack fest. Nades, stuns, a lot of things going to go down at that next hill. You're going to at least try to fight for this, not allow Paris Legion to get away with this game by growing this lead. So 15-point game now going into our P5. It's going to be early rotation for Paris Legion. Johnny going to be the first line of defense, so at least hold the line. And them trying to attack this from top flat. But you're paying attention to the mini map. Look at the route that Envoy's trying to make. He's going to have a huge one-on-one. Gravity reads it. Now the pinch gets shut down. And that's a great hold once again from Paris Legion.
That's a great hold, man. That's 4 down again. Jimbo quickly trying to read the spawns, get a few players peppered as they look to make their way in for another attack. A great start for Paris in these first set of rotations, and more specifically over at this P5, not for 1, but for 2. The baby face assassin comes to play again. Unfortunately, though, the rest of his teammates are following it, in part because of another teammate. Mark that up. I think that's the 3rd one that we've seen so far in this game. The first set of rotations look to come to a close. It is LAT just behind in that rear view mirror, but looking to make things that much more comfortable as we reset and head back toward P1.
Now this is where LA Thieves can get themselves right back into this game. Just have to find these kills off the rotation. See, #1 team on Tuscan P1 this season. 67% win rate on this hard point, but early gunfight going in favor of Johnny. He's able to find that 2P, secure the spawns for his team. The pitch is going to be in though. Octane, the player going on the route through back finds. He at least finds one. Last player on the point is going to be Johnny. Runs out of bullets. Doesn't matter. His teammates there for the assistance. And LA Thieves successfully break.
Do indeed. Great little retake opportunity. And one thing too, Jay, that we had to talk about coming into this series, it was like, okay, they're getting ready to play Tuscan. We saw the records for Thieves historically good on this map, but going back to the Pro-Am, the Thieves have not won a hardpoint not named Berlin or Gavutu. As you said, since the Pro-Am. Like, they've been losing a lot of these SMG maps. A W today would surely put a little bit more confidence in the back of the minds of a team that desperately needs some. Desperately going to need to have a little bit of consistency when it comes out of the hard points, especially if those search destroys are not going to be as well intact. A very back and forth game. We head back toward P2. It is Paris with the spawns, and also we're going to check in and see how the comms are sounding with the boys as well.
I have my short. Two there. Yeah, Crypt on me. Crypt, Sam dead.
We win. This kid was weak on you. I got 2.
I'm making them push.
I have
someone stun my cross.
Stun. Hold me top.
He's on me back nerd. I'm running.
I'm watching his cross.
T. Go on T.
They're still back there.
I
I got naded too.
Guys, one shot back hill.
You have nades. They're gonna push back.
We're backside hill. Octane backside hill. He's gonna be back on me.
Close TT. Boy, hitting T.
I don't want to need on time. One shot.
T-Hill, hold on. I gotta
I'm
reload.
nading over.
Hold grass.
I'll hold the grass.
I'm holding top.
Backside hill, push out. Okay, yeah. Roz, let's get radio to hill. Nice.
I'm trying to get this.
I'm floating out. They're in the back.
Yeah.
That's good find though.
No, top radio, bro.
I'm
Jump
trying
that
to.
old.
He's weak old. Shoot him.
He's a bullet, bro.
Going on new.
Octane in 3.
We're
Still on me.
spawning out.
By yourself. You're by
No,
yourself.
2 on new. I stunned one. All right, one's middle cut.
You could cut you top church here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got him top church.
Good shit.
I'm looking fire.
I'm trying to go left, low.
I'm about to
Looking
push
fire.
I'm trying to get top.
Fire
one shot, got
Alright,
him.
shit. And then push down our side.
Work the hill.
Team on the back.
Grass.
top.
On time, man. What's grass?
I'm
On
blocking
behind
the
the
roof
behind
on
the.
him.
Grass, we're blocking
I'm
the
waiting
spawn.
top fire.
I'm
I'm waiting.
blocking the roof.
Fine. Come middle.
Did you?
Come middle, jump me up tire. Got him.
I'm just hiding in the back.
I need a hill. We got him.
One shot time. Need him. And one fire. One shot time. And one fire.
I got naded. 1 second. I'll go.
Back left dead. Got him.
Alright, easy fire.
You're gonna be grass.
I'm gonna get
One shot. Weak, mid alley.
Mid alley,
One shot.
mid alley.
I'm looking fire.
Watch your fire.
Fire on you.
Fire.
Fire one shot.
Rotate
Playing for that. One
Hit a
shot
time.
top.
I'm rotating. Alright, make sure we cut off left. I'm gonna go deep.
Arch, bro.
We're good.
Okay,
I'm going left.
Falling grass, okay?
On and new. Could be out left. That means one's grass, right? Yeah, grass.
Yeah, I'm holding deep left. I'm on deep left, guys.
I'll see him grass.
You go radio right now. One more on radio. Brian, you just go hill.
It feels like no matter who has got the rotation to start things off here on Tuscan, the opposing team has had the ability to break every single time, whether it's LAT breaking or Paris. It just goes to show how neck and neck the start of this game has been. Paris currently with those spawns, but Gravity caught off guard. By the way, another team kill. Jimbo takes down Temp. I hope you're keeping track because I know that I am. Another lead change inbound as Paris have got the slight advantage over the double century mark. But as we said, Jay, break after break after break. And by the way, another team kill.
Another break, another lead change. LA Thieves take right control of this game. They flip those spawns, take control of the back, and now with this final 20, if you're Paris Legion, you can't give this up. You know you're going to this P5. It's going to be an absolute contest fest. You have to not allow LA Thieves to have this remaining time. A huge gunfight going to go on. Drazah is able to win it. So final 10 in favor of the Thieves. Now it's going to be on Kenny, the route man. That's going to potentially set up this pinch. Lets one player slip right on by. Gets right by Temp. So he's going to be the player to watch, even though his teammates are winning a couple engagements in towards point. Kenny. Eventually, it's time for him to attack. He finds that kill onto Gravity. The second one onto Jimbo. Cannot allow to get that one, but at least flips the spawn for his teammates. They have the man advantage and should be able to close it out here.
It looks good for the Thieves. It looks good for the Thieves within 10. However, Paris still knocking on the door, but they've got to get inside P5. They're winning some fights on the outside, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter unless they can get their foot inside of the hill. Temp able to do so for a minute. Pulls out the pistol and at least delays for the moment. The definition of an uphill battle, all things considered. Thieves just need 3 more seconds as another team kill comes through. Paris are not out of this one just yet, and Thieves, they are not out either. This game is by no means theirs. Tip's starting to go on a spree. Glide bomb does get in. Did Thieves hop in for a moment? And they get the final second that they had to. Paris fight toward the end, but my goodness, what a chaotic beginning. Team kill after team kill. I mean, what, break after break? Chaos on Tuscan, but it's Thieves that have got their hand held high after our first.
Yeah, I think the biggest turning point of this game was definitely the end of that P2 where Octane is able to find that 2-piece on junk time, get that time, and then you see Johnny, he was the only player on Paris Legion all the rotation towards P3. He does find one, but he's immediately traded, and that's where the Thieves are able to chain both of those hard points and take the lead right on back. They execute a great break on towards P4, and even right there towards the P5. They knew it was a final couple seconds. All they need is 3. They sent Envoy on a pinch to go from flat side. They have Octane play real slow from top roofs, and eventually they find both of those kills to close out those final seconds. A very close hard point, but if you're the Thieves, you'll take it when you can get it. You haven't been able to win this map since that Pro-Am Classic. Finally, they shut down that loss spree, shut down, do not allow it to get to that 6th spree, and now go up 1-0 in the series. Now they have to go into a search and destroy where hopefully they can show me something.
Well, that'll be the question, right? It feels like the series realistically starts here for the Thieves. Like, you almost predicted to win the game 1 hard point every time, but in regards to the S&Ds, who knows? Maybe that could be a moment for Paris to strike. You could argue maybe a bigger W for Thieves than for Paris, at least when it comes down to the recent performances. But yeah, man, you saw, like, I mean, off the rip, Paris looking solid. They looked like they were having some great moments. We were talking about Temp. He really turns up throughout the entirety of the game, but I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like the slaying difference was all that dramatic. I know Johnny does not have a great performance when it comes down to the opening HP. Did not actually look good in either of the hard points versus, what was it, OpTic Texas, yesterday. So something to keep in mind. Search, destroy, and control are his strengths. But, I mean, if you're coming down to it, if you are the Legion, you just cannot afford to give away games like this one. You got to have that team consistency, as we like to say. Consistency, it's the name of the game. Down 0-1 once more, the Legion. We'll see if they can rebound. Now coming into search destroy.
That's just what happens when you're the 10th and the 11th team in hold percentage on this map. Every single squad was breaking every single hill whenever they needed to. The only ounce of success where LA Thieves were actually dominant on was that P1, which is their money hill. Both rotation, they outscore their opponents. That is what allows them to eventually close out the game the way that they did. Now you're going into a Tuscan search and destroy where statistically it's not really been strong for LA Thieves. They're also on a 4-game L spree on this map. On the opposite side for Paris Legion, they're on a 3-game loss streak. But when you were watching Paris Legion, yesterday versus OpTic, the biggest thing that I took away was that even though Johnny had himself one hell of a start to that game, he gets an ace, closes out the game with like 9 kills. They lose 6-2 because simply their game plan was not executed properly. They let Shotzzy run around the map, pick up a 2-piece whenever he wanted. Even when he earned the glide bomb, they gained that information. They don't even strap the cold-blooded on. So Paris Legion, they just need to reset the vibes. That's the most important thing for me. They sound a little bit frustrated in that listening. They need to come in here, calm, cool, collected, play with nothing to lose.
Yeah, and Temp, he seemed a little tilted. I don't know. We were looking at the cameras.
Yeah, he definitely was.
Game. He was looking at the scorecard like, wait, I went like nearly double positive and we somehow managed to lose this? Okay, who went off? Who didn't look very good? It was a rough beginning for Paris, but like we said, see if they can start to improve a little bit. And when it comes to the search destroy, you just never really know what to expect when it comes down to the Thieves. We'll see, man, if Octane can get a kill. That really is going to be my focus. Honestly, I don't want to watch any person's perspective outside of Octane until he gets that first kill on the board. If it happens,
I'm not worried about it. 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 Octane knows, like, that's a one-in-a-lifetime chance. Like, that the fact that happened to him. 0-12 in round count. 0-12 for him when it came to him getting kills on the map. Just simply nothing was going his way. I'm pretty sure even on map number 2, he had the highest damage on his team. Just simply couldn't finish a kill. Yeah. Octane knows today is the day we break that streak. We do not allow it to go deeper in and make it more of a joke. He is a phenomenal player, and he's going to turn up today in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and we saw the tweet that come out from, on the Bluebird from him after the series was over. He tweeted out, like, I'm so disappointed in myself. I've been hitting form all week in practice, and then I come out and look like that. We'll see if, and I'm coming to think of it, too. I think was like an excellent Search Destroy player back in Cold War. Like, he was, like, up there and I think, like, the top 10 in overall KD. So it's not as if, Sam LaRue cannot get down and dirty when it comes down to the Search Destroys. But as of late, it hasn't looked all that good. We'll go and take a look at the numbers for both teams on Tuscan Search Destroy throughout the season. Not necessarily amazing from either side. I think the one thing that stands out is really the offense and defense percentage for both of these rosters, Jay.
Yeah, they're both sitting at 11. Not going to be easy. If you're on LA Thieves, you find a lot more success on their attacking rounds, where they're sitting at 45% win rate. If you're Paris Legion, at 42% win rate on their attacking rounds. So this is going to be just an all-out battle between both of these teams. Really a struggle for both of these teams.
Yeah, and one thing that you mentioned too, that I'm glad you called out, was that we actually got to see Paris, you and I casted over Paris on this very map and mode yesterday versus OpTic. And, it was really the story of the first bloods. And you talked about it. Scump and Shotzzy basically left the roam in the middle side of the map. Also, one thing too, like we're talking about Temp, can he get some help? Johnny's really going to need some help in the Search Destroy as well. Like, they were getting first blood, they were getting caught off guard. As you said, the glide bomb comes in with basically 0 awareness over at that A site. They're going to need some help. Like, Johnny went like, what was it, like 9-6? Yeah. And the rest of the team went a combined 3-20. As we said, consistency. It must be a thing for Paris.
It has to be a thing. But the thing that really scares me the most is that, believe it or not, this is a crazy stat. The Thieves on neutral retakes in 4v4 situations, 3v3 does not matter. When they have the same exact numbers on the opposite side for the other team, they usually find a lot of success winning it, specifically on their map. They're second overall in that situation. But for some reason, on this map, when they find themselves in a 4v3 situation on Tuscan, they are 11th in win rate percentage. That's insane. You get first blood, and for some reason you're losing a round. You don't get first blood, and you for some reason have a lot more success at winning it. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Steve needs to make those adjustments.
Wait, what?
It doesn't make sense.
Okay, I just, when it comes to, like, I don't know, at this point in the season, Jay, there's just so many like interesting numbers that you just get tossed out there, and you're like, how does that make sense? How does that work? I really don't know. Folks, I know you did see the quick little fly through on Tuscan. We are having a quick little lobby reset, and we'll obviously get to the game here momentarily. But Jay, if you are looking out for a specific player, really on either team, I feel like the easy answer is Octane. So I'm gonna give you. You can't use Octane, a different player for Thieves, and who is the guy you're looking out for Paris?
I'm definitely going to look at Kenny. Kenny, he really didn't have the best map number 1 right there. Every time we watch this team play SMG maps, for some reason, he's not putting up the same numbers that he does when he plays Berlin or when he plays Gavutsu. And for a player like Kenny, this is a guy who can take you above and beyond for this team. If you can get him to MVP form, where he's just dominant with both of those guns, you can just think back to even his World War II days. The guy was an absolute beast when it came to playing any single role in the game. Obviously struggling with that SMG in hand, but now you're going into a Tuscan Search and Destroy where you're gonna have to be focusing on the SMGs on the other side. You know what Johnny is capable. You and Envoy need to be able to shut that player down.
Yeah, absolutely have got to do so. We'll see if Paris can manage to do it. Shut down the X Factor, possibly in Kenny. At the same time, as you mentioned, you gotta be aware of Johnny's performance as well. Here we are, into the search destroy for game number 2. LAT kicking things off of the defensive end. A few extra shots piled up, really on the outside of his own teammate. Envoy looks to strike for the first blood, but quickly answered outside of Donnie Temp. A quick 3 versus 3. Great shots once more come in from Temp, and Johnny will come through with the third. Johnny be good. Octane kill on the board. There it is. The streak has ended, but can the Thieves get the round of the board, though? That's the question.
Now Octane in a 1v2. There's a lot of time to work with, but the bomb is going to get rotated over towards that B site. Octane has read this play wrong. So now he has 45 seconds to work with. Temp is in a great position to at least watch that from the opposite side of the spawn. Now if you're Octane, you just have to take your time. No dead silence to work with. At least have to get some information of where these players are going to potentially be playing at. There's 30 seconds to work with. He's going to decide to approach towards that flank. Should have a gunfight here.
Should have indeed. Great early beginning to this. What would be 1 versus 3? Oh, incredibly close. Tom Gravity able to hold on to it. You saw Octane at the top left of your screen. He felt like he had it. A near 1v3 in the bag. And I know statistically this season, Gravity not been the greatest in 1v1. So we're talking about confidence. Octane gets it on the board, and who knows, maybe for the rookie as well, he's able to get that in those clutching situations. Let's go and take a look back at the start of this round, Jay.
Yeah, this is the replay. Envoy does get the first blood, and what do you know? LA Thieves with the first blood, they lose the 4v3 because they allowed Temp to get a 2-piece. Great first round from Paris Lee to secure that attacking ground. Now, if you're Temp, kind of feeling yourself after that first one, gonna pull out the boomstick and the sniper. Envoy just gonna jump right out to fire, find that first blood onto Envoy, and then immediately turns into a 3v3, making it 3v2. Oh my God, it's so fast.
We're just getting into it. We're just getting into it here on Tuscan. Kenny with an opportunity to shut down Gravity does so, but Temp still alive. Sniper in hand is allowed for 2 shots to fly already. So position's gonna be known. We'll see if he can try to clutch on up, but I believe it was Octane who comes through from the church, locks him down. 2 very interesting and aggressive rounds off the rip, and we're tied 1 apiece.
Yeah, right there, the Thieves, they just took it to him in the middle of the map. Envoy just jumps out, finds that first bullet onto Johnny. And they put up a lot of pressure over towards that A site as well. Kenny eventually turns it into a 2v1, and then he throws perfect shoulders right there to get the information to Octane to set up that flank coming in towards bottom church. LA Thieves respond 1-1.
Harris, another look at the attack. Jimbo, bomb in hand. We'll see if the aggression will only look to continue. It's too strong for the Thieves. Go rushing right into the well. And it will work out for them. Johnny erased. But Jimbo does even the numbers up. And really a very free field right now for Paris. They've got a lot of room to spread out. And maybe even flex their wings a little bit. Sniper could be an option for Temp. Watches 1 and sees the second. Gives the call out to the teammates. So he does not hit the shot, and while fire is open, does give them once more that freedom to lock down the objective. Up to Thieves on the retake.
And right now, Envoy, he's still thinking that Temp is on this side of the map, so he's trying to play it slow, but Temp already hits that rotation. Already finds himself in towards church. They have 2 players that are trying to locate where Temp is. He's already out of the play. 25 seconds to work with. Paris have completely flipped the map. They took mid-map control. Gravity finds that first. Jimbo with the second. Oh, man, great shots coming in from Jimbo to find that final kill onto Kenny. They just wasted a lot of time right there if you're the Thieves trying to find that player in Temp with that sniper. Once they realize that he just rotates all the way on the opposite side of the map, just wastes too much time to allow Paris Legion to take those one-on-one gunfights, eventually put themselves in a man advantage and close out the round. Another first blood, by the way, by the Thieves.
That's right, man. Another first blood, but how about the shots out of Jimbo at the end, given, you know, Kenny's in a very difficult spot, but still, early confidence for Paris. They've got the 2-1 advantage. We'll see if they can add on to it. Envoy spotted early. Does have that bomb in hand as Thieves. Very typical when it comes to Tuscan, making that early A hit and trying to get that bomb down already off the start. But given a few of these players' positions, Envoy still yet to feel all that comfortable. Gravity comes through and strikes to start us off. Temp still with that sniper, looking to linger. Thieves got to get that objective down, or at least find a pick.
You're gonna decide to put this bomb down. Now into 3v4. Pretty sure Temp was able to at least spot 1 player in Kenny, but they're all gonna collapse onto Kenny. Kenny at least finds 1, before he does get traded. So now in the 3v2, make it a 2v2. Drazah with great shots onto Jimbo. Full control of field side. He's just going to instant hop the bomb. This might work out. Someone has to check.
Oh, this is a great call. This is a great call. And as Johnny comes around the corner, he's going to drop. Did he get it? Did he get it in time? No, he does not. How close was he? I thought he had it for sure, Jay.
I thought he had that. Like, I think if you're Johnny,
bar was full.
You challenged that in the perfect time. Like, if you're Johnny, you read that play beautifully. You're like 2 seconds out from this defuse. And then even when Johnny drops, you see it's a little bit of a hesitation to see the guy on bomb. Thought it was going to give him enough time to secure that one, but Thieves clutch up. Envoy goes big to at least find that two-piece onto bomb to make it 2-2.
A very interesting call for Paris. I mean, what, that nearly works out. I mean, 0.1 arguably away from securing that round and going up 3-1. However, a 2-2 score line. A few players start to spot each other nice and early. Speaking of spotting, Octane gonna give the call outs to the roster, letting them know it is a full-on B hit. Our first look here, at least to start off a round on that site. Paris lock it down. They've got the numbers. They've got the bomb. We'll see if they can hold it down again.
They have great positions right now. Kenny, he was in that spot towards top church. Had a great spot, but he gets sniffed out. Drazah at least makes it a 3v3. Now all of Paris Legion backing up towards B5. And this can work out beautifully if you're the LA Thieves. Someone just commit towards this bomb.
Envoy does get picked. Their source of information falls. Johnny is also going to get picked apart as well. And how about the retake covered in from Thieves? Paris, they put down the bomb at B. Gravity gets picked. And from there, as you said, Jay, the rest of the team backs up all the way to Plat. They go to P5. And really from there, nobody in the play. Once they try to make their way back into the objective, Thieves are ready and waiting.
Yeah, that was not a good call right there from Paris Legion. You find that first blood, you get the bomb down for free, and you basically live up all map control once the numbers are evened out to a 3v3. You cannot all back up to B5, rely on one player to hit that late flank to potentially take that player off bomb. They just gave the Thieves everything that they wanted. That's why you see the smiles on their faces. They can't believe that they just backed up by getting full B-site control, but the Thieves secure the round, now up 3-2.
Yeah, and how often do we see like a retake as well over at that B side on Tuscan? Not very often. So somewhat of an anomaly when it comes down to the stats already being displayed. Nice nades already off the rip. LAT known as one of the better nading teams that we've got in Vanguard, and putting that on full display. Do secure the first. Gravity does hit the deck. And with that, Johnny has got a full plate. Quite a few of LA Thieves players ready to run right into his perspective.
Okay.
Able to find the first, but right now, take a look at those arrows from Paris. They've got to get a move on.
Yeah, I was thinking the Thieves right there were going to be a little bit late on that trade. Potentially, Johnny could have found that second kill. Great shots coming from Envoy to at least give them the numbers advantage. Now in the 3v2, they get the information that both Paris players have rotated back. Free A bomb plant. Now it's all about the setup. You do not want to allow 1v1 gunfights.
Oh, and Jibba does get picked apart from the back. Nice little spot from Octane. Another kill for him. Another notch onto the belt. This temp 1v3, a difficult spot, a predicament indeed. Nice shots onto Drazah, but ultimately stays alive because of the cover at fire, and another round going toward the LA Thieves. Mark it 3 in a row.
That was just great patience right there from the Thieves. Once they turn it into a 3v2, you see how slow they play it towards that P5, thinking that a player is going to commit towards a flank, or they're at least going to gain the information of these players wrapping back on the side of Paris Legion. Once Temp gives up his position towards back truck, you see immediately, no hesitation, and wrap towards A, get that bomb down. Everyone plays a corner. They take down the first, and then in 3v1, they collapse onto Temp towards top church. 3 straight rounds, like I said, from the Thieves, now up 4-2.
Here comes the swing round. And already off the start, it is back-to-back headshots, make it all 3. And Envoy has got a lot of action inbound, has the teammate support, and within 15 seconds, it is Temp again. Left in a 1 versus 3. The white, or rather 1v2, excuse me. White flag potentially out. Gets the unfortunate timing. LA Thieves just strike back again with aggression, and it works out in their favor once more. Not just 3, but now 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, right there, the Thieves know that they struggle on their attacking rounds. If we take mid-map control, take it to them, they find that first blood once again and then just keep control of the mid-map. Envoy does a great job of at least finding that first kill, assisting onto the second before it's all on to Temp in the 1v2. Then you play the buddy system, you wrap behind them right in towards top fire. Easy round for the Thieves, now at game point.
Just a very difficult hole the Paris find themselves in. Their S&D man so far in their first 2 series, not having the greatest of games. 3-7 out of Johnny. And the Thieves, without a doubt, have erased all of those issues that they suffered versus the Atlanta FaZe. Confident as ever, up 5 rounds to 2. The plat will be the target, and Johnny's got to be careful of his position. I was going to say those double nades could be problematic. He falls, but thankfully Jimbo answers back with one of his own. It is a head-butt type of fight over toward the field, and Legion come out on top. Numbers in their favor for now.
But Kenny slips through. Kenny slips through right at the right time to at least make this a 2v2. Temp off the rotation back towards that field side, at least able to make it now a 2v1 left up to Drazah. 30 seconds to work with. Bomb down towards the safe site. Buddy system gonna be here from Gravity and Temp. Great play from Paris Legion right there. And especially Jimbo to shut down that early A attack. Once the Thieves find that first blood onto Johnny towards B, you see that the play. They had Octane already sitting back fountain in the depths of their spawn. Once they find that first blood, he tries to push up on A. Jimbo takes him down, but then Jimbo also takes down the second, which was the bomb carrier. Slows down the pressure from the Thieves, and Paris Legion stay alive a little longer.
Yeah, a sweat off the brow type of situation if you are Paris. Thankfully, Jimbo is there to save the day. Can Legion keep this going? Can they keep this going? This attack would really say a lot. If they were able to come out on top, Kenny, the sole man at this B site, could have his hands full, depending on what the Legion elect to do. You gotta imagine Paris in these moments, trying to stay alive. Nobody wants to get picked. Working out the strategies.
Yeah, tough situation right now for Paris, especially with Thieves taking full map control of that A site. They also have mid-map control as well. So if you're Kenny, all you have to do at this P5 area is just play for the information, back down. At least stay alive for your team. But Octane with that first blood onto Johnny. Johnny, unfortunately, is not having himself a great search and destroy. Multiple rounds where he's getting first blooded, but Jimbo at least evens up the number before the trade comes in from Drazah. Bomb down on A in the 3v2.
Yeah, weird opportunity to go for the plant. They just have nobody at field. Dead to rights over at that A site, but here comes Gravity, runs right into Drazah, right into the jaws of Drazah. A mouthful indeed. Temp now in a 1 versus 3. That feels like that has been the name of the game so far in LAT. In their search and destroy woes, struggled mightily versus the Atlanta FaZe, but come out swinging here on Tuscan, now up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, they did their homework. They definitely watched that series where OpTic Texas played Paris Legion yesterday. They saw what OpTic did well, and that was just take full map control every single time they were on defense. Force Paris Legion to play really slow, really try to sit in their base and develop a play that they want to attack, without having any information. No one's peeking mid because no one wants to get first blooded, so they're not going to be aggressive there. And then when they're playing stationary in their base, they're trying to at least cause some noise at P5, but LA Thieves, they did not fall for it. Octane was ready and waiting in towards top church to find that first blood, and like I said, they take full map control of A. When they try to transition over to that A plan, Jimbo gets taken down, and Drazah puts himself in a great position to at least keep himself into the play. Closes out the round with all 3 kills for the Thieves to now go up 2-0 in the series. Looking real comfortable for them now that they know that they have that control on their back pocket.
Yeah, that's the scariest thing, right? We head back to the maps and modes. I'm like, oh yeah, what's the control going to be? And it's like, oh my gosh, now it's going to be a Gavutsu LAT. I think they've yet to lose a Gavutsu respawn just in general, right? So far throughout our Major IV qualifiers. At the same time, Paris, I think it's like their only positive, if not even control map that we've got in Vanguard. It's going to be an interesting battle, but as we said, LAT pretty comfortable throughout our first 2. Is it going to be a nice little 3-0 sweep for the Thieves, or can Paris, as we said, be the Reapers? This is their chance. This is their opportunity. We'll see if, unfortunately, they allow for it to slip. Folks, make sure to stay with us when we come back after the break. As we said, it's Gavutsu. Stay with us.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew and Zenny. Armor your eyes with Blocks gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL.
Alrighty, friends, welcome back. LA Thieves taking on the Paris Legion. LAT 1 victory away from the 3-0 sweep. Paris 1 loss away from making me have to apologize to Ant and Veli. So I'm really hoping that that is not at all going to be the case. But Jay, up next is Gavutsu Control, a map that really, as of late, well, it's been like historic throughout Vanguard of LAT. Amazing on it. They have that, brief spree where it's not looking the greatest, but they've been returning to form on this very map and mode quite nicely lately.
Yeah, LA Thieves are 8-4 compared to 6-6 on the side of Paris Legion, but you see the stats. Second overall on this map on the defensive side are the Thieves, and 11th for Paris Legion on their attacking side. That is abysmal. 1-15 out of the 16 attacking rounds that they have played is the only ounce of success that they've had. They have a 6% win rate on their attacking round. Believe it or not, it's not the worst though. Seattle, for some reason, have a little bit worse than them by a couple points, but they're sitting in 12. Obviously, Paris Legion have not found a lot of success, and the biggest thing for me that really stands out is that Kenny on this map, whenever you're allowing Kenny to run an AR, he's going to be a man on a mission. A 1.18 that leads the team right now for the Thieves on this control. On the opposite side, it's going to be Temp with a 1.23. So looking at that, young man, to really shut down Kenny.
Yeah, it feels like Kenny's almost gonna kind of power up when it comes down to Gavutsu. We'll put that 6% attacking win rate to the test for Paris as they will look to force their way mightily inside of the bottom of the boat. Currently successful at that, and Temp, well, he gets a freebie there on to Kenny. As we said, the battle between the two. And so far, it is Temp doing a great job at really just eliminating Thieves every single time from the base. Multiple ARs out. However, it is Drazah on the outside doing great work, not for one, but for two. Spoils the push.
That's great patience right there. Great trigger discipline coming in from Drazah. So he could have had that first kill with ease, but he was thinking big picture. I also got to take this guy off point. Do not allow a second tick to come in. But while Drazah's doing all this in their spawn, the opposing team on Paris Legion, they were controlling green down to the T. Now they have a little bit of progression working towards B. Octane gonna have a huge one-on-one versus Jimbo. He's able to win it. But now that frees up that pressure towards that A-point. Second segment complete.
Decent attempt there for Paris. Keep things in mind, Temp is on that 5 spree. Also somehow spots Octane through the smoke. Does not earn the glide in the end, but a valued attempt at the very least. What could have been a valuable streak. Unfortunately, will go by the wayside. Point captured, another minute on the clock, and Jimbo's trying to keep up this hot spree. Where are they coming in from? The point is contested, and really he has nobody on Overwatch currently at that B zone. Temp, the only man to get here. And a lot of time to work with still if you are Legion, but Jay, as we know, this team has struggled mightily on this side. We'll see if they can finally get the gap, get the opportunity. Temp having a wonderful start in this first round does eventually drop. We'll see if the rest of the team can pick up where he leaves off.
Big two-piece coming in from Temp. At least gives the positioning of Drazah. So now Paris Legion have control of top P1. LAD's basically trapped in their base. Now they also have to worry about their flank because Johnny is causing problems in their base. He does get sniffed out, and LA Thieves, they do what they do best. They hold strong with those ARs in hand, find every single kill in the feed. Unfortunately, Envoy has not found one of his own, but he's about to with his positioning right now. Should be able to catch a couple players trying to overextend through cliff. Okay, or not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. That'll wait for another day. Thieves to slow things down. Great awareness from Jimbo to check that corner. Those Drazah drops that will allow for Paris to very carefully make their way in toward that B zone. A capture would be huge. Jimbo gives away his position, and from there it works out once more in the LA Thieves' favor. They are down to 7 lives, but I'm not so sure the Paris are gonna be able to make that really all that much of a factor. Kenny finds his 5th kill in a row, and then is straight red inside of the feed. 3 players hit the deck. Farthest pushed up player is gonna be Johnny. He gets erased as well. All sunny skies right now for the Thieves to lock down this defense, Jay.
Yeah, if you're the Thieves, you do exactly what you need to do. Stay strong on the defensive side. And if you're Kenny, you want to at least stay alive and continue to play for that glide bump, because that could be so impactful for the end of this game as they hold strong and on a 12-team spree to close out this round number 1. 2 players left from Paris Legion, not even going to try to contest this. They know that there's no chance in hell they're going to be able to touch that B point with the map control that LADs have. And LADs, even though they go get early into that round by getting outslayed. They bounce back, hold strong on that beat point. Outslayed, do not allow Paris Legion to complete one segment.
Yeah, no real chance. And that round, honestly, at times felt like hell. Like, it just felt like they were not ever going to have an opportunity. And honestly, man, like, there were some good moments. Like, Temp was making plays. He was hitting routes, and it just felt like Paris not really all that connected. It felt very disconnected when it came down to trying to get that B zone, something they're going to have to work on. But as we said, look at that streak. You called it out, and it's only going to continue to rain. Multiple players in glide bomb territory. We'll see if somebody will be able to secure it. That could be honestly what just Thieves look to play for. And don't even try to go for the objective, rather just play for streaks. Kenny will remain on his. Same thing for Octane. Can't say the same about Drazah, however.
Didn't see him. Doesn't spot top boat. But Kenny at least picks up that kill to earn himself a glide bomb. Octane also does get shut down, so he doesn't earn one for himself. But if you're the Thieves, now you have that to work with on future attacking rounds, just in case this game starts to get really close. A lot of pressure towards this A point. One player left towards top boat. Gonna be the last player up. Gravity's just gonna push himself right on through to that cliff side, and it should be able to catch the Thieves off guard.
Definitely should. We'll see if Gravity can make a little bit of magic happen. Does spot one, spots the second. Octane still trying to lock things down inside of this A zone. Ferris down, but still not out. Trying to hold valiantly for as long as possible here on the defensive side of Gavutu. Let's step aside and go to a listening with the LA Thieves.
Johnny was green boxes. Tank Johnny dead. It's up there. Probably top one. Yeah, B. Top side. I'm gonna OA back. I'm green. Outer circle. We're good. I'm green back right now.
I have the circle steps.
I'll say anything there, sir. Top radio on the heady, top radio, Jimbo. I replace them. Circle steps. Oh my god. Nice job. I'm going up circle. I'm going circle. One's top radio on me.
You can circle steps.
He was right side radio heady. I'm gonna come to you left.
I went low beach, guys. They could be circle.
Top radio, Jimbo. I left him. I don't see him, Ken. He's still there, Ken. I'm pretty sure.
1 point.
I can't play top radio. That's first guy. Top radio, Jimbo. I spawned deep. I'm getting nated. Deep cut, Donnie. He's on the outside. I'm double nated. On time, center side of me.
Time slip.
I'm getting it. I can get it. Wow. I'm here. Just hold. Team kill.
That was close.
17-10, boys.
Wait, under.
Low beach done.
Alright.
One guy had to grab it. Hit him once.
Nah, you got me.
Jimbo, he's on you both. Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, he's under me steps.
Come right
in between. Yeah, we should get him. I'm here, Jim. Yeah, I'll look you right. Watch out. Low.
He could be right.
Yeah, I'm left. Johnny or something, bro. Yeah, Johnny or Gravity. I can't tell.
I'm playing through Zach.
I'm playing. I don't see.
Got me. P5.
I'm about to use Zach. That's all you. Top radio,
Well, a great little check-in with the LA Thieves. They do invest the streak, but unfortunately, Jay, it has not turned out to anything in regards to that B zone. Lives are becoming low, however, for Paris, so it has been really chipping away for as long as possible. If you're the Thieves, Octane slides and dives onto Johnny and has got some words for his teammate Gravity as well. 2 more lives left. It is all on the Temp. It is all left on to Jimbo. Donnie, last man alive. He hits the deck, and that will be the Thieves walking away with the attack up 2-0 in this control. And it's looking good, Jay. It is looking good for this sweep.
Yeah, the Thieves, they just had the numbers advantage. 17-10 in lives remaining. They have one player commit towards the flank. Breaks the setup on the side of Paris Legion. And once you have no more respawns, even though they were doing a great job of breaking in every single time, not allowing the LA Thieves try to complete any of those segments. But after Johnny gets that 2-piece, after Gravity gets that 2-piece, LA Thieves, they flood on in. They get the kills and they close out the round. So now up 2-0, sitting comfortably. Going into this defensive round, Paris Legion need to do something that they barely have done all year, and that's win an attacking round.
Yeah, they've got to improve. They've got to try and improve, at least get something, get some magic going. But if you're Thieves, you got to be feeling all the confidence in the world. You're up 2-0. You just want an attack. You got glide bombs after glide bombs, possibly on deck as well. Oh, man. LAT are smiling from ear to ear, but they've got this one locked up. Looking to put Paris really in the full court press. Eventually, Octane drops, and that could really establish a lane now for Temp. As he and Jimbo, at least for the moment, we're trying to stay alive. Trade still favoring Paris. Somebody's going to hop on this objective and stop the time.
And they have 40 seconds to work with. They're just worried about keeping map control right now. They have a couple players on towards this A point. Main focus is completing this, extending time by a minute. And then trying to rotate over towards B. I felt like in their first attacking round, when they found that two-piece towards lower beach, and Temp was looking for Kenny in towards bottom bow, if he would have just rotated towards top ring, he potentially just cuts off all the little players and probably get some segments done. But you see the Thieves, they do a great job of just body stacking towards that A site, winning all their one-on-one engagements, coming out on top in those. And now there's only 25 seconds for the Paris Legion to get out of their base.
Not a whole lot of time to work with. Gravity says, hey, you know, I've actually found myself to the back of enemy lines. Can we do anything with it, though? The rest of the teammates just trying to get out of the base. Feels like Paris are bound for the gallows, but Gravity doing the best that he possibly can to keep his head on straight. A few nades tagging him up, making him weak. Goes for the pre-fire, but it's Drazah with the pistol that ultimately will take him down. Legion still over at that A site. They've got a little bit of magic possibly to work with, but Envoy is there to destroy it all. A 3 spree for him. Octane sits on 4. Now make it 5. 10 more seconds, and Paris, they're getting erased. They're getting evaporated, decapitated in the back of the base. This one looks to be over, and it will be. LAT take back that 7 seed from the LA Guerrillas. The mini battle of LA seems to be on, but the Thieves feeling good about the W and avoid what could have been despair versus the Legion.
Yeah, this is just one of those matches. You can see the vibes right there for the Thieves. Clean 3-0, exactly what they were expecting going into this one. When you're going up against a team like Paris Legion, who haven't really found a lot of success all year long, we're talking about 2-9 in their last 11 hard points, 1-10 in their last 10 search and destroys. And in control, even though statistically this was their best map for them, they just went up against a better team in the Thieves. Thieves get the clean 3-0. Nice, easy series for them to gain those extra 10 points going in towards champs. Like you said, since LAG lost this morning to Boston, LA Thieves now put themselves up to that 7th spot, provide a little bit more of a cushion from those bubble teams. And exactly what you wanted to do if you're the Thieves. Clean 3-0, bounce back into search and destroy, respawns, at least in that map number 1, not as clean as you wanted it to be, but a 3-0, nonetheless, exactly what you want if you're the Thieves. Gain that momentum, not going into these next 2 matches for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want to talk about, right? Is the fact of the forward progress for this Thieves roster. They're feeling good. Obviously, a nice 3-0 win versus Paris is going to make you feel quite nice. But as we said, it was just trying to get through this series. Don't allow for any funny business to happen. And as we said, don't allow for the Reapers to come out and surprise you, right? Don't allow for those soul suckers to come in and start to spoil the comms. As we said, Thieves do avoid that struggle, and ultimately, man, it just felt like a clean series. I mean, outside of the Tuscan, which was back and forth, I mean, Gavutsu was not a struggle, and like we said, they just felt a lot more comfortable in those Tuscans. But moving forward, Jay, what are you looking out for the Thieves? I know it's a nice W here versus Paris, but what are you most hoping to see them improve on going into week 3?
They have to expand their map pool and hardpoint. The fact that you told me the only 2 hardpoints that they've been consistently winning since Pro-Am Classic have been Gavutsu and Berlin. They need to expand that, get better at Tuscan, or get back into their form on Tuscan. Probably play a little Bokeh. It's been their auto veto all year long. We're probably not going to see that from them, but they need to show a little bit better performance on that Tuscan hardpoint. And then you go to a search and destroy. You're going up against a Paris Legion roster who haven't seen a lot of success in this game mode. A 6-3 victory is a victory indeed, but still a couple rounds where they need to clean up. Once you get that first blood, you can't give up the numbers advantage that quickly the way that they were doing. Once they found that first kill, like 2 seconds later, it's immediately a 3v3. You have to slow down the game when you get to those crucial moments, because that's when the better teams are going to be able to attack you and take you out in some of those rounds. 4v3s can't turn into 3v3s. 4v4s, you are really good at clutching those, but when you have the man advantage, you have to secure those, especially against the better squads.
You're right, Jay. You're absolutely right. Fortunately for me, I was wrong. I thought Paris was going to take a map, and I apologize. I'm sorry, Ant. I'm sorry, Veli. It's all on me. Straight in the forehead. Guys, let's bring it back. I thought they had a chance.
I told you. Lando, what?
I know. I'm Rio.
Lando, what did I say? I said 3-0. These guys are going to get cooked. People are literally... They're blasted on the timeline.
If Paris got a chance, then shoot. What's up, Pokemon? Yo, that was rough. Had a chance?
No, I mean, that was really, really, really rough. And I've seen people saying, like, Paris are going to come in and spoil and stuff like that. Like, trying to play spoiler. Like, they're not going to come in and beat a team like LA Thieves.
No.
LA Thieves, I mean, Paris has just been too bad over the course of the last few months. And LA Thieves is a team that's been great on land, and in this stage, they've been figuring it out online for the most part. Like, even though they did get 12-0'd in S&D by the Atlanta FaZe, like, the respawns were still fairly good.
Game.
Yeah, so it was honestly frustrating me seeing people predict Paris over the Thieves. But either way, in this series, great search and destroy improvement on the side of the LA Thieves. We saw some, them going towards B, getting kills, wrapping back towards A. The mid-round adjustments that we were talking about with this team that had to come through. We saw it in this match. It's really the only map where I'm going to take anything away from these guys. Because obviously Paris is a really easy team to beat when it comes to those respawns. But either way, solid performance.
Yeah, big time. We actually have a Scump play of the game. It's Search and Destroy round 6. Nameless, man. LA Thieves. They win it.
Looking better. I mean, look, they get first blooded. The insta trade comes in. They push up over towards the B bomb site. Then the wrap starts to come from the Paris Legion, just basically baiting them out. It's the waiting game, trying to play for information at this point. Then you see the classic play where you make the adjustment, communication comes through. You wrap back to make the round easier for yourself. You get that bomb down that's Envoy planning. Then you can see Octane puts himself in a good position to pick up kills. This is a guy who's been struggling in S&D. Got to make it easier on yourself. You get pushed up in that mid corner, you get a free kill, and then basically the round is done from here. So it's just a high percentage play by the LA Thieves, definitely learning from their mistakes and taking advantage in these situations where they have numbers.
Paris needs help. I just want to say, man, to close out this season, I would really love to see Paris just try something new. Coach, DM, somebody do something, man. I'm really loving what I'm seeing from Johnny. Tim's cool. It's a tough spot. I just want to see something just different.
I feel bad for the players on the team.
I feel terrible.
Especially, like, you can see it after games, like the frustration coming out of players like Temp. Like, he really put on a huge performance on that map one. Like, he was popping off. I just don't think the team's in the right mental spot to make a run. Like, we've seen the tweets they're getting on. They're losing games every single day. It's a tough spot to be in. It's really frustrating as a competitor, especially when your career is on the line. So I wish nothing but the best to these players, and hopefully they can make something special happen from the loser bracket.
Give your players the attention and resources needed to win. We actually have a game fuel victory spotlight with Envoy from the LA Thieves. Envoy, man, put a smile on. You guys got a big win, and you're looking really good this stage. But when it comes to points, you guys are doing well. You guys are looking very strong since the last major. Your next opponent is Florida. We've seen the new Florida. So my question to you is, have you guys started game planning to play against them yet? And if so, what's one thing you're worried about? I just kind of want to know behind the scenes with you guys.
Yeah, for right now, I mean, we're just taking it one match at a time. I feel like the biggest thing for us in matches is like winning the searches. Obviously, won the search today, picked up a nice 3-0. We lost the 2 searches versus FaZe, so really just working on strengthening that and our map pool overall, because that's going to help the most for the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
Envoy, like, I have a lot of respect for you when it comes to the search and destroy game mode. I think you play it a very unique way. You're great at that over the course of your career. And I want to ask you, this has to be really frustrating for you to be on a team that is struggling in said game mode. When you guys come into a series versus a team like Atlanta FaZe and you guys don't win a round, how do you fix things going forward? Like, what is the practice like in that week where you're trying to figure out what you did wrong?
So it's a lot of just, well, at the beginning of the season, it was a lot of just like losing our man-up situations, which is like really hard to fix because, that's just super in the moment. But I mean, FaZe, they outclassed us. We didn't win a round. So this week, I mean, it's more or less just trying to steal other people's strats or take away things that they did that we can implement into our game. And yeah, that's just what we've been doing to, change up our respawn and S&D game.
Has anything changed in the discussion mid-round? Because we saw some plays, like we just watched Scump play the game where you guys wrap back from B over towards A, where at times we'd see you guys maybe overcommit or a player make a hero play. Has anything changed in those moments? Is there somebody like calling out, calm down, and let's do this?
Oh, for sure. It's really just like taking our time and not getting too antsy or, overzealous where we're trying to take a chow that we don't need to. Obviously, like in that play right there, we figured they'd be wrapping, so we just took the, the free bomb site that we could get. And played it pretty perfectly afterwards. So just I think it's like taking less risk and playing the higher percentage play.
Nicely done.
Yeah, Envoy, I do want to say this, man. You guys have been one of my favorite teams to watch this stage. I love watching you guys the last major. Keep crushing it, and I'll talk to you next time, all right?
Appreciate it, Belly. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Good one.
You as well. All right, so that was pretty much it, man. So Paris, a lot of woes. I'm hoping to get a lot of support and help from their organization soon, hopefully. LA Thieves, I do want to say, even though they got bummed out against Atlanta and S&Ds, it was a great series overall. I'm really loving what I'm seeing from this team, this stage. The question is, moving forward, I feel like Florida and NY, NY possibly now. I feel like LA can win that, but Florida, this is a game I expect LA to really pop off with.
It's their most important game.
It's their most important
It's that
one.
bubble game, you know, trying to knock them down. I mean, LA's currently in the top 8, right? So if they can win that series versus Florida Mutineers and widen that gap, it gives them a lot of grace going into a major where traditionally, like, LA has played way better on land. Like, online, this is like the first time we've seen LA Thieves play well online. It's nice to see. So imagine what's going to happen on land now.
Oh, I can't wait to see Kenny bring it, baby. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more series on the day. Oh, it's a good one. Speaking of points and bubble games, coming up next, we have OpTic Texas with Illy, of course. You guys know the deal. But who are they facing off against? The New York Subliners, the hungriest team in the league right now, and rightfully so. They're looking to rack up as many points as possible, and so far they are undefeated in the online qualifiers. But the question is, can they be another Titan in the scene? We'll see if the streak continues. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the break to close out this amazing day. See you there.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official communication partner of the Call of Duty League. And AimLab, official first-person training partner of the Call of Duty League. Unleash your potential.
Hey, we interrupt this programming to bring you a very important message. Did you guys buy your tickets for Major IV yet? Buy your tickets at nyxl.com/major, and you can come see me July 14th through 17th at the King's Theater. I swear to God, you better do that. You better do it. You better buy your tickets, all right? You ain't getting in if you don't have tickets, so what are you doing? Don't make me mad. Don't do that. Don't make me mad.
Still looking for more. My people, they got a sore. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore. Just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids. Just kids, that's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little. My God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big. The only way that I can live.
Scump finds two on the point, flushes them out. Now protections a few players on one, but Shotzzy, it feels like he cannot miss. He cannot miss. Lead, not able to get away. To 1 versus 1 we go. Dashy coming through in the pistol. That's going to be nearly the first. Pulls out the pistol and gets it done. Afro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League, and yes, we're at the end of this week as well. We got one more game left to go, and this is going to be a good one, okay? For the simple fact that Paris, pay attention, okay? New York Subliners made a lot of team changes when they struggled, and now look at them, one of the best teams in the game. Now they're facing off against OpTic Texas, but nameless, we have Maps and Mo's, man. I want to hear your thoughts about this.
Let's check them out. I mean, looking at this, the hard points, I think New York made it out pretty good. You look at that Berlin, OpTic struggled to break on that map. They're 10th in break percentage on Berlin. It's been a map that they've lost a decent amount of the season. Then Bocage Hardpoint, we know how good OpTic has been on that map, but New York has won 9 of their last 10 Bocage Hardpoints. So it's looking good there. Obviously, in the control, OpTic has the advantage. You see New York, last time they played, they lost to Tuscan, so they go ahead and they get rid of Tuscan control in this one, which forces them to play a Berlin that they're 1-1 on. So not exactly comfortable on that map. So the respawn's going to be interesting for sure.
Holy Bocage. Bocage between New York and OpTic. Listen, we're in for a treat today, but also, ladies and gentlemen, we're in for an even better treat because this is the second game in the stage. We see Illy play with his squad and head into Bocage. Oh, they're going to have a good time there. Shotzzy and the rest of the boys are ready to jump in that lobby, and I'm going to have to say, from the last game we saw with OpTic Texas, they did go against Paris Legion. It was a good warm-up. We saw good things, but now it's going to need to be even gooder than that. They're going against one of the best teams and the most streakiest team this stage right now. This ain't going to be easy.
Yeah, last time they played New York, they actually lost 1-3. Obviously, wasn't this roster. They did not have Illy. So, yeah, exactly. They lost in the qualifying at Major III qualifying stage, excuse me. But going into this one, yeah, they're going to have to shut down Crim. Crim actually had a really good series against them. He played with the fire. Obviously, when he goes up against Scump, he's bringing that added fire, and he definitely has the fire now as they're trying to go flawless here in this qualifying stage. For OpTic, this is a big test. A lot of pressure is going to be on the other side of this match coming from New York.
Right, when it comes to the game field keys of victory, nameless, I got you, man. This is going to be a good benchmark series with Illy back. I mean, there's not much to say about that, right? We don't have a huge sample size other than the game against Paris, and how well do we know, what really went down from that from watching it. But the last one is they're going to have to execute offensively on Bocage, S&D. They're actually 10th in offensive win percentage on Bocage at 38%. Carson, shout out to you for that context right there, but also the featured player. This is gonna be an easy one, man. This is Dashy. Dashy is that guy.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's stats are crazy. I mean, he's sitting at 1.21 hardpoint, 1.2 S&D KD, 1.3 control KD. The guy is just nuts, man. He wins his gunnies. He's always going to be playing aggressive in that flex role. It's why you love to see him there. Dashy's just an unbelievable player, man. And he's picking up kills at any moment. This guy can take over games, and he's extremely confident.
Well, speaking of confidence, New York is full of it right now, right? Let's talk about this team. Kismet popped off. He went crazy. We've been talking about that this whole time. But also looking at the Mandu featured player right now, which is Dashy. And also we have iLLeY back. I can't stop but thinking about how well Paulehx has been this stage and also how well Crim has been, especially as a leader as well.
Yeah, Crim's been great. Paulehx as well, both of them. This team gels really well. They're a high-action, fast-paced team. They've gotten better in their pressure situations. We've seen them win a couple round 11s. Last time they played against OpTic, they shut down Shotzzy. He did not have a good performance.
Yes.
And Hydra popped off. We were hyping up that matchup between Hydra and Shotzzy, and Hydra certainly won that one. With the level of play that we're seeing out of the SMGs, though, New York, they're looking unreal. I actually favor them in this series. I mean, we saw Kismet. He looked super comfortable. Since they picked him up, he's been making plays that's just helped them win games in the final moments, but yesterday, he was a different breed.
I'm praying to the Vanguard gods right now. Let New York go undefeated and run rampant in their major, but before we even get to that point, they're going to have to stay undefeated, and that's by beating OpTic Texas. What are the keys, though? Continue to bring in elite teamwork, baby. #1 in non-traded kill percentage and 2nd in traded death percentage. I mean, shout out to Hydra for that one especially. But last one is stay informed on map 1, Bocage Hardpoint. They've won 9 of their last 10, and as a hardpoint team, New York is just dominant. There's nothing else to say about it. It's not a debate.
Definitely not. And we're going to learn that in this series of New York, they've been playing like they have in the last couple matches. I mean, we really don't know what to expect at OpTic Texas. They had a close game versus Paris Legion. They're still trying to get comfortable. This is honestly an extremely tough matchup. And like we said in the keys, it's a benchmark game for them.
All right, real quick, because I got to throw it. Who you got winning?
I got New York winning.
All right, New York as well. All right, let's do this over to Bryce and Ted. Fellas, this is fun. The bubble's here. Take it away.
All right, thank you very much. Interesting. Our desk all going for New York. OpTic fans very much looking forward to the return of iLLeY. And this certainly, like the desk said, going to be a benchmark game. Where they sit, Paris is one thing, New York quite another time. Yes, 2 beautiful cities and 1 really good team. Look, I think if you look at it, this is really the one we're looking at for OpTic. What can they do here against such a hot-firing NYSL? As you mentioned, it's hard to benchmark it when they're going up against Paris. iLLeY look good. Can he do it here, though? It's a very, very different story, especially when you're going into a Bocage hardpoint. That NYSL, 9-1 out of their last 10. Let's see if they get the job done here up against the green wall. Well, if we ever know anything about Bocage and OpTic, it means not an awful lot of hill time. It'll probably come down to time at the end, but starting off at the moment, Hydra just doing Hydra things, somehow staying alive with 6 health in this position, and a little bit of a touch on the sides, but not an awful lot of points for either team. Having a look at some of the stats as well of OpTic. This rotational game that we so often do play on hardpoint is so important for them when we do go into Bocage. First in hold percentage. If they can get there, if they can lock these hills in, they will find a good time. But finding hills and finding rotations are going to be very difficult when Hydra is flying at you, as he so often does, the French phenom. Having a good start at 4-1. NYSL transitioning now over towards the field side. OpTic here, ready and went, Bryce. Yeah, Paul needs to stay alive here, and they hit him squarely in the head, and he's going to wait for reinforcements to come through. At the moment, you can see in the back, Dashy trying to hold down Crimsix, but doesn't end up getting that kill, and will be taken out because of it. New York have done a wonder here and flipped this spawn. It's a hellish kill from Shotzzy in the second one, but yeah, as you said, NYSL have done the hard work. Really trying to find a way through. No time right now for the side of New York, which is fine for them, though. They do have control of the spawns. If we can clear them out, then they're looking good, but our Mountain Dew future player, Dashy, 2 kills inside a barn, give OpTic just a little bit of a toehold to try and get some control, make that a 3rd now for Dashy. The rest of OpTic following up. And even though they do get flipped here, OpTic, it really hasn't hurt them too much. Yes, okay, the points would have been great, but they haven't allowed a many to leak over towards NYSL either. Yeah, they're a great job at recovering, and speaking of recovering, the kill feed lights up for them. They're going to come away from P2 in the lead. You can see New York desperately trying to go for this rotation. Shotzzy trying to shut it down. He's trying to shut it down. He had a read on the spawns there. Well predicted from the side of Shotzzy. Paul should be dead. Lovely rotation from OpTic. But can they hold it down? Plenty of NYSL players in and around here. Shotzzy does have Dashy alongside of him. Dashy holding down the spawns towards the back, but NYSL will just come through the front door, just try and control as best they can. Shotzzy with a big gunfight win towards the back. Spawns still going to be there for NYSL. It's an absolute bloodbath inside of P3 at the moment. Walking away with it, only iLLeY going to try and slow this one down, and he get 2, but not going to get the 3rd. And Crimsix will dive in. New York going to take the lead here with 40 seconds left to go on this hill. And Scump is waiting for the reinforcements to fly through. He's going to find Kismet, surely. Easy read there in the end for Scump. And now they flood back in. This entire game is still as tight as it can be. So back and forth, nobody able to really get any sort of decent control over any of these hills. It's back and forth.
Left and right, New York Subliners still spawning towards the back. You're going to be thinking about P4 in a second if you are OpTic. But Scump is finding the roots. There's number 4. Number 5 was potentially lined up for him. Is he going to get away with it? Staying alive. Let's see if we can make this into a 7 for a glide bomb. That will be massive for the side of OpTic.
Well, Scump now going to hit the rotation. Hasn't seen one in a while. Looking for players over crosses, but nobody is finding the king at the moment. Eventually does take down Hydra. That's 5. Looking for number 6. The pre-fire comes in. Scump is weak. He's dodging. He's diving. He is eventually going down. And now OpTic, while they are in the lead, they will not have that glide bomb.
They won't, and Kismet just went straight through the front door. Good work by NYSL. For all that they had that rotation over towards P3, they seem to be breaking in nicely, but OpTic are not allowing them any easy points here, and that's why the game's pretty close. It kind of feels like Subliners are making these breaks and seemingly have control. The scoreline does not show that. Now imagine a breakthrough here in towards Barn again, an opportunity for points here. 5 points in the lead, that's going to extend OpTic towards the back. It's a tough break from here.
They're looking for it. They're trying to make the kills here, but you can see Hydra's ready to set up. He knows somebody's coming through this direction.
Possession.
At the moment, nobody's actually gone for it. They're still fighting over Barn, and Hydra gets 2. And Hydra on a 5 streak here, eventually just spinning every single direction. And he's going to go down the rotation, though. It does look like it could fall onto Kismet.
Can he hold anything down through the middle? Not quite. Shotzzy. Not who you want to see there. Ellie backing it up. Lovely break coming in from OpTic. Still going to be the spawns here for NYSL. But those kills coming on through just at the right time. They know exactly where NYSL are. And can OpTic hold this down? Dashy in the river gets gunned by Crimsix, and all of a sudden it bursts into life once again. A yellow kill feed, though. There's New York break on through very, very easily. Both teams being broken so simply either side. It's nothing too complicated. It's through the front door. The gunfights are being won by the aggressors nonetheless. So back and forth. Nobody able to get a real stronghold on this game so far, Brycey.
Well, you can see the kill feed going through. Eventually, it is going to be New York to clean this one up, and bearing in mind how often we see Bacage come down to time, especially when OpTic are playing, it could be swinging that sweet victory all over again. But right now, we go back to P1, and it'll basically be touch it for a second and run away.
Just about this rotation over towards P2. OpTic trying to lock this in, and some good time over on P1 as well. They've got a lovely setup here. At least staying alive is crucial, but well, so is their 2 players in the middle. Kismet finding 2 on Shotzzy and Scump. Not an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination. That allows New York to spread their vines out and across the map. Hydra, oh, that's a good fight. You've got to win. Shotzzy, my goodness. And that shuts down the push. It shuts down the rotation. That was looking so good for NYSL. All of a sudden, OpTic in control of the map once more. Points on the board here over towards P1. They've got the rotation if they need it, but it's so back and forth. Things are changing so fast.
It is currently OpTic just trying to hold this one down. Kismet with a huge kill towards the back, though. New York are trying to squeeze. Scump going to be up top. He is stunned, but he is gunned. And Hydra ends up taking that one away. OpTic still on the back foot, trying to hold on to these spawns under New York aggression. There's 11 seconds left to go before this switches. Obviously, nobody touches the time because they never do.
This rotation is so important for OpTic. Found themselves lagging behind just a little bit, but the man back off the bench, so to speak, Illy. After his injury, having a good game so far, needs to continue it. Shots inside the barn. He's the one that kind of started what is looking like something good in the second half of this game. For the side of OpTic, those couple of kills inside the barn really did set them up beautifully, heading over towards P2. But again, this game just feels like one team has control of a hill, and all of a sudden they do not. OpTic just about holding on. It's going to be Hydra towards the back, who finds 2. My goodness, the 3rd! He's done it on his own! The French Phenom's at it again!
Just unbelievable break coming in there from New York, and all off the back of Hydra. Let's find out how they're doing in the comms.
Nice, good shit. Yo, get Kitch for me. I'll do all that.
I'm team shooting same with you.
Nice. I'm watching over here.
Helmet.
They could be shot. They could be shot, okay? He got me. Oh, yo, he's tunnel.
One. He's going up to camo, I think.
On me, gate.
Play life.
Seth is gate.
Yeah.
I'm on the camera. We play tight for kills here. Let them fuck up. I'm going back window. Yo, he's on our tank.
Yeah, he went tower. Time, Shotzzy.
Top Seth.
Jump it, you bro.
He's back. Nice job. One more ant. Top.
Low enemy. Stop. Low right, bullet.
Back step.
Shot me. One shot. He's one shot. Close corner. One shot.
He's gonna be camera or something. Dashy.
I don't see him. Short. Nice.
He's not here.
He's in kitchen. We killed Dashy.
Two kills. I got one.
More ender.
On time, dead.
Nice job.
Top gate. Don't tell him. He's on the god.
He's weak. Nice.
I'll find this time.
I'm coming to help you. He can be kitch.
He can be top as well.
I'm stunning kitch. Yeah, I stun him kitch.
He's kitch.
One's mid. I have your kitchen.
I'm on team.
P2 ender. P2 ender. He's going on front kitchen. Front kitchen. Zig.
Okay, front kitchen. Watch out.
Yeah. I'm throwing a deep nade over mid. Yo, are we going right here? Yo, look over me. Paco.
I'm front kitchen. Yo, top in tree down.
Okay, I'm going top. Yo, he's on in 10 on the back.
New York still leading so far in this game, and OpTic feeling the pressure. Let's find out how they feel in this listening.
Try getting time. I just walked out of time. Yo, kitch step, one more. God tank still. Where's he on time? I'll get him on time. Sit down. He's on time. Under steps.
One A plat.
Big door dead.
A plat, front left.
Hydra dead. I'm sitting down.
Let's get A plat.
I'm picking up left. Yeah, one guy's on me. Front door Paul dead. Nice one there. Crim dead. Good shit. Small. Good shit. Soak all this 30. Be hard kills.
Yo, nothing left.
Yo, we small door again. Where'd he go?
You went there, I think. I have left, so. Left kid dead.
Nice. Right time. Trying to help.
Got take.
Absolute Paul.
Got take.
Keep something inside. Yo, front door Hydra, absolute.
This guy got time for that.
And one's under me.
Under you.
Yo, Hydra on the
Rebel mind.
That's 4.
Push. I'll get time.
Play for spawn door here.
Let me back on my back.
Are you? I'm here with you. Top house first guy. Can you get him? I'm waiting for you. He's cutting. Dead. Good shit.
I'm trying to get the front house. Hydra. Dead.
Nice. Two. Back castle. Wait, one more.
Back out now. Crimps P1.
We're missing someone. Dead. Let's go. Where do you go?
Back out, let's go.
Mid-street kids. Last guy mid-street. Jump in on time. He's on time. Someone on time. Kids. He's close behind.
Well, there's OpTic, and you can hear an awful lot of Hilly in those comms. At the moment, Kismet somehow staying alive under this, even though they lost the spawns. Right now, it's still New York in the lead. OpTic are going to try and close this gap here onto River, but they are not having the most fun time of it.
Yeah, they're going to really try and bring it by. My God, Paul. Hilly might be trying to orchestrate things here as best as he can for his squad, but Paulehx, it's a hell of a big kill, and that's going to allow a lot of time to go over towards NYSL. Hilly gets a better run this time, and eventually, it's going to be a break for OpTic. And maybe we'll get a few points here, Brycey, but that lead, it's not insurmountable, but it's such a solid one for the side of NYSL. They're looking to set up over towards Bond. They want to keep those rotations over towards P2 if we do indeed get there. In a good spot to close this game out, but OpTic are not that far away.
Well, here's the big thing as well. Bearing in mind we are coming towards the end of this game, not that quickly. There is 1 minute and 3 left on that clock as well. As we know with P1 coming up, teams tend not to play around it as much as they could. So we could be seeing this game end early as we kind of expected.
Not long on that game time, is there? OpTic have broke through. They may well try and find as much time as possible here, which would obviously make sense. Paul finds 2. OpTic need to just set up and find something, but for every single second that passes us by, it works out for the side of New York Subliners. They can just keep OpTic off this every single second is in their advantage.
Hydra managed to find another 2, but with 18 seconds ticking down, it's still New York into the lead here. They still do have the spawns. OpTic Gaming are looking to break through at some point, but to do that, they have to find the kills. 6 seconds left to go. Push down River. You can already see it. Illy trying to make a move. They're going to try and hunt him down. They know exactly where it's Kismet and Illy. Illy wins another gunfight. And that time is ticking. We thought it might. OpTic have to kind of jump in here, and you can see already Hydra finds 1. He's looking for the second again. It's Hydra with a 2-piece. Over and over as they start gunning here against OpTic. And Kismet finds 1, finds the second. And OpTic are now spawning out considerably.
They can't get anywhere near it. NYSL are causing absolute chaos inside of Barn. Hydra and Kismet are having their way at the moment. 19 seconds remaining on this timer. NYSL happy to soak up more and more of that time. Inside the point, the pressure there from OpTic is just not close enough. They're 10 seconds away from going up in the series.
And OpTic have to go. They have to try and find something. Scump finds the first. The rest of OpTic are trying to pile in, but the gunfire from New York is too strong. And that game did not end on the time clock as we thought it might, but it was close. New York decided to just hold down P2 completely. And OpTic kept having to fly, but 2 pieces out of Paulehx, Kismet, and Hydra. Hydra, by the way, was in his zone.
He was skating around, wasn't he? That kind of game, this kind of map. For Hydra, he lives and breathes it. 28 non-traded kills. An insane game from Hydra. Putting up really big numbers. And how many times did we see those big breaks off the back of his kills? That one specifically over towards P2 on that second rotation. 3 kills on his own. Door wide open for the rest of his team to get on through. Fantastic work from Hydra. The tip of the spear for the side of New York Subliners. Gets them into such a good position in this series. But I think OpTic would have known going into this one that Priestahh is going to be a very, very difficult game. It's hard win, of course. Elite has been out and about, but an impressive performance from Subliners there. And I want to say relatively comfortable. I know I was saying halfway through it, it felt like it was hard to ascertain who was really in control, but it felt like NYSL were the ones finding the breaks. They didn't just necessarily find the points in the first half, but when they started to get these breaks in the second rotation, it felt like they capitalized just a little bit more off the back of big plays from people like Hydra. Kismet had a good game. Everybody from Subliners solid on the stats sheet. And take a lead here up against OpTic, and that will give them so much confidence heading into the rest of the series.
Yeah, really will. They're all big plays out of both sides. You're right. I just felt like maybe the difference was just what Hydra was doing. He's just incredibly irritating to deal with. And I feel like we talk about Shotzzy like that, but with Priestahh, Hydra was just finding a difference. Here's that 3-piece. He was here breaking it on his own. He's like, all right, I'll find all 3 of them. I'll just run through over and over again. And yeah, kind of a crazy one out of New York in the end. And considering we thought it was going to end on the time clock, New York went, all right, we're going to hold P2. We're just going to hold it. You're not getting anywhere near it. We saw Paulehx playing his life. And it was just furious the entire way, Ton.
I mean, imagine it just trying to play up against players like Hydra and Shotzzy. It's so difficult, but for Hydra to do it up against a player like Shotzzy as well. I mean, for how long have we been talking about this man being one of the best SMGs in the game? He is very much up there in that conversation at the moment for the Subliners. 250 to 171. A relatively comfortable map number 1 for the side of New York in that miracle run. It's feeling a lot more likely as time goes on. I'm honestly struggling to figure out a team that's going to be able to beat them at the moment. They just look so good, and when this man is firing like that, it is very, very difficult to come up with a game plan of how to beat this squad.
Yeah, and they've got to continue this momentum on. If there's one thing you don't want to do against OpTic is give them a way back into this series. I'm convinced OpTic, as soon as they get a little bit of momentum under their wings, will be firing back on full force. And yeah, I'm not gonna even look into this series too far off that first map, and I don't think anyone really should. It's a long way to go before I think we find the victor of this game.
We say that, I just feel though that looking at Priestahh Search and Destroy, it doesn't necessarily favor OpTic at all as well. So I mean, it's difficult. It's always hard to predict when we do go into these games, but looking at the map set, I'm kind of siding with Ant on a couple of these points that this does suit NYSL. A building control does not. I will say that. OpTic will be looking at that one as a map they should absolutely win. Of course, we've only seen NYSL play it twice. It's not necessarily a massive ban for them, but it just hasn't been picked that often. Very, very even split when it does come down to control. So we'll maybe talk about that a little bit more when we get there. But when it comes down to Priestahh Search and Destroy, Paul has been phenomenal on this map as of recent. He's going to need to be at his best once again here up against OpTic. Close victory for them last time out. Very close games across the board, actually. Both these two teams, the last 3 games they played on Priestahh Search and Destroy, Bryce. Guess where it's went?
Well,
both of them.
I think the interesting point for me is what's at stake with this game. New York want this game more. Like, they have to. They are sitting there. They know that the hole they have put themselves in needs to be dug out. If they get this, they will be 4-0. If OpTic, obviously the biggest thing they can take away from this is they're trying not to go into the losers bracket for Major 4. But we all know they're trying to rebuild. They've got Illy back. They are looking sights set on the Major and then champs beyond it. This isn't the biggest dagger in the side for them if they lose it. They've already locked champs a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, so I think realistically New York are just fully locked in. The pressure they must be feeling every time they load into a map is unbelievable.
Have a look at the stats here for OpTic Texas. Priestahh Search and Destroy. Their favorite thing to do when the attack is go neutral. And it's also their least successful tactic when it does come down towards those attacks. So let's keep an eye on how things are going to break on down. As mentioned, Paul, a 1.7 KD in 4 games of Priestahh Search and Destroy. It's quite something to keep up on a map like Priestahh, isn't it? Let's see if you can do it here up against OpTic, who are on the attack and looking like they're heading over towards A.
Yeah, sneaky Kismet. Just going to wait this one out. The only issue for Kismet will be that there is nobody available to trade him. Eventually, Crimsix comes over to back tank just to have a little look out. But OpTic right now have no idea where New York are. And New York are waiting to absorb whatever pressure comes down. You can see the call's been made. They're about to make a river play. Paulehx going to find one. Almost finds the second as well. Hydra going for a chow. It's a little bit of a bait and switch coming out of New York. And Hydra tries to stay alive. Scump eventually takes him down.
Oh, Scumpy on his own after Dashy kills iLLeY on the cross. That's a disastrous gunfight that comes on through because I think they both went for the challenge. One of them got killed by their teammate and then the other one got gunned by the player they were challenging. But 3 kills there for Paul. Really good hold by NYSL. The problem is for OpTic there, they just didn't have enough time. They had to move quickly. As soon as they lose that first gunfight, they're in trouble.
Yeah, the call was going to be made. I'm going to see this again. Yep. Paulehx gets Shotzzy. Dashy almost goes down. And Hydra goes for a little bit of a bait. Now, keep an eye on the mini-map. I was going to say, keep an eye on the mini-map for the team kill, but it doesn't matter. We know it happened regardless. Not a great round for OpTic, but they can regain. Kismet already jumping over. Dashy going to be on the fact that he's going to see him as well. He's in a little bit of trouble. It's aggressive, it's ambitious, but ultimately it's not very good.
Oh, Dashy comes from a peek onto Crimsix. How dare you, Scump now with a challenge. Hydra should be there for the trade and absolutely does get it. He's going to go for this plan quickly. I don't think OpTic would have realized that, but they are actually going to go check it. Hydra will fall. Paulehx not in a position to help him.
Yeah, went straight for it. Paulehx is now going to try and figure out, because he knows wherever he goes on this map, someone from OpTic will be waiting. And they've set up really well here. There is no blind area for him. Shotzzy will probably just try and shoulder this or keep away from it. No information either there for Paulehx.
Information gained though. The side of OpTic. And a good idea where that came from. Across now back over towards the bomb. Did iLLeY spot him?
I don't think he did. That angle hasn't allowed it.
Nope.
Paulehx might try and grab this and get out. Shotzzy's going to make a move. You're going to see it on the bomb. Paulehx is actually going for the plant. This is incredibly ambitious. The nade isn't even going to hit him, and he's out.
This is now a double for the side of Paulehx. 3 streak of both players from OpTic onto the site. This is such a risky one because if Shotzzy loses this gunfight, iLLeY is all of a sudden in trouble. But that bomb defusal is coming on up and coming on up quickly. And there you go. The defuse comes in, as does the kill from iLLeY. Well played from OpTic. Very heads-up play. They knew that Paul would have had to get himself out quickly. They jump on it immediately themselves.
Yeah, fully taking advantage of where that bomb was planted. Obviously, Paulehx had to plant it safe. Problem is, safe for one is safe for the other, and OpTic went, all right, bet.
Nicely done. Those are the kind of plays when you do have that numbers advantage. Slight risk, of course, if Paul has put himself in a fantastic angle and he gets the first, then all of a sudden the player defusing the bomb is a sitting duck. In that scenario, really good cover. Nice heads-up play from OpTic. They get themselves on the board, 1-1. Now looking like it is a sided hit. It's typically everywhere. Or every time, I should say, that with players going in any direction is over towards a Hydra. And the Henry Chinny Chin Chin will just about get out. NYSL survive.
Oh, Kismet's going to be found. He moves at the wrong time, and Shotzzy says thank you very much. Hydra's trying to do some work. It's not going to work out for Paulehx. Has everybody jumping through, and he gets 2, but not the 3rd. And Texas go 2-1 up now in the Bacage S&D.
Offensive win percentage hasn't necessarily been there for the side of OpTic, but they do get one on the board. Can NYSL match it themselves in the next? That was much better from OpTic, and that is that neutral setup that we like to see from them. Players get caught out though, and all of a sudden it's an easy push from the rest of OpTic. 2nd 2 out, Paulehx will not stop New York going 2-1 down. The rest of the team yet to really get on the board here. My goodness. How has he killed him there? That's literally just a straight spray through and Dashy falls.
Scump's gone out. Scump's gone and got that kill as well onto Kismet. They're trying to trade him out, but they can't. Crimsix eventually finds iLLeY. Shots. Oh my goodness, Scump! Hydra just got evaporated. And Paulehx is going to go down as well as Shotzzy. There is a lot of dancing going on from Scump and Shotzzy in this S&D. And now Crimsix is left all alone to try and figure out this Rubik's Cube of where on earth are these players gone.
Stopping around Bacage with Shotzzy and Scump on your tail. Crimsix is in a tough position here. Imagine they've sounded him out. Bomb's going to be picked up now, get a good idea of what's going on. What's the play here for Crim? It's such a difficult call to make. Let's take a twist. You see Shotzzy. And here comes Scump. This is such a difficult 1v2.
Looking for him as well, and that's going to just be a perfect bait and switch. All the bait there, shot by Shotzzy. Shoulder. And Crimsix just didn't have anywhere to go.
First blood's coming in and helping OpTic out in that scenario. New York just seemed a little bit flat here. Came out firing pull, lining them up in Røkkr in that very first round. Other than that, though, they've had nothing to write home about. Scump and Co having a very, very good game here, 3-1, and I really do feel like this would be a big win for them if they can find it in the search and destroy, and they're halfway there to doing so at the moment.
Well, stick it on the shoulders of this man. Scump on a 5 streak. One thing I don't actually want to see OpTic do is probably play around this streak, because I feel like it might throw them off their game plan. Crimsix gets first blood.
That's big.
Scump's being aggressive.
Scump is being aggressive, so they're not playing around it too much. And how many times do we see teams fall into that trap? Not this time around necessarily for Scump.
Here's the thing. At the moment, with the